I would love to see AI replace the management level before it replaces the contributor, but I don't see that happening. Hey everyone, welcome to the DevOps Roundup,
where Sean and I are actually next to each other
in the same room.
But we couldn't figure out the camera logistics, and we're kind of hefty.
Yeah.
So we both don't fit in his camera view. But here we are, coming at you live from
just outside of the Denver headquarters.
Yeah, there you go. We made it across the Rockies, and we're here to talk about, should developers be happy? Yeah, it's a really great question.
It is. Well, it depends on the day of the week on if I want my developers to be happy or not. Historically, I'm typically the software compiler or the release engineer, and if developers are sending me all the code on a Friday evening, no, I don't want my developers to be happy. I want them to be as miserable as I am.
Well, this question is very important to me because I have a career in computer science, and I remember
I just play one on TV, I guess.
Yeah. 2007 through 2006, right? That early before 2010s. The developer space was very kind of newish. It wasn't as big. Like Google was still a tiny company, right? Okay. Facebook was still a tiny company. Like big tech was still not as big as it is.
Yeah, the companies that we came to think of as unicorns, didn't quite exist yet.
Not yet, but around the 2010, 2012, even to 2014, there was an explosion of demand for software engineers with astronomical salaries, like sky high.
Are you talking about the .com burst or
no,
.com
like
burst?
In 20
after it recovered
between like 2010 to 2015, right? Okay. Between that in that 5-year period, you saw people where like they were going to Google, and Google would offer them like $150,000. They'd go across the street to like Airbnb would give them like $200,000. They circle back around to Twitter would give them $250,000. Then Facebook. Did I already say Facebook? Facebook will come back around.
You might have. I think you started with Google.
Yeah. Somebody, but like the way you could escalate your salary, right, was incredible. Like companies were paying astronomical numbers to hire some of the best talent, whether you were even a great developer or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Company hopping would get you anywhere between 5 and 15%.
Right. But Sean, this wasn't even hopping, right? This was just interviewing during the hiring process, right? You can get competing offers. And some people made bank, but that begged the question: did that make developers happy? Right? It was having a bigger salary.
Well, money can't buy happiness, right?
But it can solve problems.
It definitely can.
And fast forward a little bit, right? Fast forward past 2015, we're coming into the 2020s. COVID hit. All the developers went home. I think a lot of developers wanted to be at home, right? And then we saw this whole RTO, right? Return to office, which triggered a huge amount of either resignations or more job hopping because developers apparently wanted to be at home.
Yeah.
Right? And that working from home make developers happy.
No, nothing ever makes anybody happy.
And so fast forward now to the last 18 months, and AI is here in full steam.
Yeah, we can't ignore it anymore. We can still hate on it, but we can't really ignore it.
Right. But now that we're in AI in full steam, the role of the developer and the prestigeness of being a developer is becoming a commodity.
It is, yeah.
And so now the question is, in 2026, should a developer be happy?
Well, I all kidding aside, I wish happiness on everybody. but what does that mean?
Yeah, but what you do for the majority of your day, right, will impact your relationships at home, your personal life, right, your hobbies and everything else. And being able to write code is part of your DNA. It's who you are. But in the age of anti-gravity, Cursor, Codex, Claude, everything else, that ability to write code and that craft of yours is kind of going away.
It's diluted. Basically a lot of other people who couldn't compete can now compete. So I'm always a fan on making things as equal as possible, but if you spent a lot of time honing your skills in one area, it kind of sucks to have 90% of the population now be able to do exactly what you've been doing.
But here's the kicker. I think Atlassian, I don't know the number, right? But this is a statistic. Atlassian came out, right?
Okay.
And I think various companies come up with the similar statistics, but they're in the high number or low numbers, where a developer, how much of their day, of their week, do they actually spend coding?
Yeah, it's very little.
It's very, very little, right? Yeah. Sometimes like in the teens.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking sports, but usually it's more, going to meetings that didn't necessarily need to be a meeting.
Playing with your fidget spinner. But this is the part that is kind of confusing to me, right? Because if 25% of your day is spent coding, and as developers, coding makes us happy, but now AI is taking away the coding part.
So you just have the unhappiness parts left.
Right. So then what's next, right? What becomes the future of this? And so I wanted to look at this article here. We have the Ultimate Guide to Developer Happiness. This is a couple years old. This is
we were picking on that prior. It was like, what did you find a 2-year-old article for?
But I wanted to look
I think it's still relevant.
I think it's relevant. And I wanted to look at it because Atlassian recently made an acquisition of DX, which is developer happiness, right? We have Compass, which is another Atlassian tool that focuses on developer happiness.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of companies want their developers to be happy, but are we like in a game of tug of war now?
Yeah. And we're saying the word happiness, but really it's developer experience. So if the developer experience is good, that translates to happy. We hope. It also should correlate to productivity as well. A happy developer is a productive developer.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to start touching on, right? Because boosting productivity with a great developer experience, right? So the article from 2 years ago states this sentence right here: when developers understand their code, they're 42% more productive. When developers are able to get faster turnaround times, they're 20% more innovative. These are tangible individual benefits that in turn directly impact the output of the developer's team.
So the first concern I have with that statement is the number 42. So obviously they're trolling us at this point. But where did they come up with 42? And is it just because it's the answer to the life, the
meaning of life?
Yeah.
Well, but so this is kind of why I wanted to talk about this, right? Because off camera, you and I were making a comment of like, if 42% like understanding your code, 42% makes you feel more productive. How much of the code you're building in anti-gravity are you understanding?
Yeah, I don't think it's 42%.
Right. I would assume it's in the low single digits.
Yeah.
But that opens up a different problem because even though you don't understand your code, the next line is more bigger than ever, right? When developers are able to get faster turnaround, they're 20% more productive. But what happens with almost immediate turnaround?
Yeah.
So does that number go up 5x? Are we like 100% more innovative? So does that mean that the happiness of a developer or the experience of a developer, will it shift from salary? Will it shift from return to office or that you can work from home or work from anywhere? Will it shift from writing code to I can engineer things?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the introduction of AI is going to allow more people to work from home. I'm not sure how much AI is involved in that equation. That seems to be more based on the economics of the company that you're working for, and if they feel embarrassed for renting a gigantic office building somewhere, and they're just insisting on people to be there so they don't look bad in front of their stakeholders.
But the opposite is also more true, right? How many people in their basements are going to be able to craft new companies? Because of anti.
I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see more people creating companies from their garages or their basements because they got laid off because of AI. And so they use AI to spin up yet another company and try to compete with.
There's a Afrojack song from the 90s.
Yeah.
Because I got high. And I feel like you're going to change it to like, because I got laid off. I made it up.
Well, I don't know that reference, but
I'll show you the
comment in the comments below if you know that reference.
It's a funny, like the lyrics, like he was gonna do a bunch of stuff, but then he didn't do it because he got high. Okay. And so now, like, I was gonna build a company, but I got laid off.
You got laid off.
But yeah, no, not joking on the layoff, but I think there is a silver lining on the layoffs, right? Because what does this open up for people? And the flip side, what does this open up for college grads? Mm-hmm. Right? Because I think we mentioned in 1 or 2 episodes ago, maybe 3 now, where I had an opportunity to speak with a recent college grad, and he was like, I've been trying to get a job for many months and I can't. And my initial question was like, show me your ChatGPT history, like show me what you're building, show me your projects. Yeah.
Where's your GitHub account?
And his reaction was like, that's cheating. Oh. And I'm like,
do you want a job or what? Or not? You know?
Well, I think the question is bigger, right? Like, do you want a job or do you want to make a job? Does this era turn us into entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Well, actually, to jump back, and what does this mean for college grads? I think it's more of what does this mean for people who want to skip college and just go right to making money? I definitely think there's a lot of people that wouldn't bother to even start college if they're good with computers and they jump on the one of these generative AI systems, and they're getting applications out as fast as they can come up with them.
Yeah, I think I was talking to my family this weekend, younger high school level and middle school, and I was talking to their parents. I'm like, my kids have to use AI.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm grading my kids on their ability to have their utilization of the AI tools. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, he's lucky because we get penalized and punished for using AI. So I was talking to my cousins and aunts and stuff. And I'm like, why wouldn't you encourage your kids to use AI? And they're like, because it's cheating. I'm like, you're cheating them from my kids who will be able to outwork them, outperform them, outthink them in every level, because they are going to be 1,000 times more productive than somebody who's thinking hard.
Mm-hmm. Until AI crashes. And
then we got a bigger problem. Then it's the end of the world. You're just skipping from now straight into Skynet.
Yeah. So I do still believe that people need to learn to do things by hand, manually, before they, lean on AI for everything.
I would normally agree with you, yes, but AI also has a teach me section, right? And so I think it's going to be driven by curiosity. I think a person who's extremely curious,
I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for those type of people that they just want to know a little bit more about something, and AI helps them, figure out how to learn that something.
So have you ever heard of Daniel Pink? He has a book called Drive.
Probably only because you've referenced him before.
So Daniel Pink's Drive talks about mastery, purpose, autonomy being like some of the key contributors to making an individual feel happy, right? Feel like they have a purpose in life.
Yeah, a drive.
And I think this shift that we're seeing here, right, is really, really going to like pivot or 180 how we think of happiness in the workplace. Because obviously writing code is not going to make us happy anymore because there won't be any code to write.
We're probably multiple years out from that, but I don't think you're wrong.
Well, I said there won't be. I didn't say there isn't. Yeah. But the premise is still kind of like holds up pretty strongly, right? Like a lot of the busy work that we do today, regardless of what industry we're in, if you're happy doing the busy work, I think you're going to be very unhappy. And so you better start figuring out what truly.
So who are these people who are happy doing busy work? I've known some.
I've known a few. Yeah. My wife used to have a coworker he would check in, he'd disappear for 9 hours, and then he'd come back at the closing time and go, "Well, great productive day, guys." Did you ever hear about this?
So where did he go?
No, nobody knows. I tried to follow him once. No. Let me tell you this story. It's a very old story. I probably read it back in like 2018, 2019. So the details are a little fuzzy. Sure. But here's the premise: this one guy showed up like 10 minutes late to work one day. Okay. He's in the office, and his manager was on his case. Right? He was like, "How dare you be like late? It looks bad because all your other coworkers are here on time. Like, what does that say about you?" Right? And the guy basically quit. He's like turned in his 2 weeks notice and he was done. But he's one of those guys like you and me who likes to play devil's advocate. And so for the next 2 weeks, during his 2 weeks notice, he would come in on time. And he would leave right on the bell. And for 8 straight hours, he would binge TV shows on his computer. And every single day, because his manager would leave before him, his manager would walk by his desk and say, "Great job today." Because he was the productivity that the manager was measuring was, are you at your desk?
Oh, that's a terrible productivity.
Right? But it made the manager happy. It made the individual contributor miserable. But it does beg the question of like, how is our happiness being measured by our
That's
management?
right. That's what the episode is about. Back to happiness. I forgot.
The whole thing is all about happiness, right? Like, I think that's just important things to think about, right? Because again, our managers, like, we got to do what makes us happy, right? But like, again, the coding part's going to kind of go away, but then your manager is grading your productivity based on your code, but that'll go away. So then what are you being graded on then that will make you happy too? Because you're going to be like a conductor, right? If this whole AI thing plays out the way it's playing out, our roles are going to be more like managing 1,000 agents.
Yeah, and there'll be fewer and fewer people to work with on a team. Because if you're all conductors, you really only need one conductor for a team.
Right.
And so you'll have multiple teams of 1 to 2 people, probably
with 1,000 to 2,000 agents each. And so, I think trying to answer the question of like, should developers be happy? I think it's a question that becomes really hard to answer because I think we're going to enter an era where if you get happiness from the thing you do to earn your living, you're going to be in for a very, very rude awakening.
How to follow that?
Well, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I unfortunately agree, but I'm not happy about the agreement. But I obviously things are changing. We're going to get down to the point where there's more management than they are coders. And I would say some industries are already that way. Some of the projects I've been working on over the last year or so, it seems that there was 2 to 3 managers for each person that was contributing.
What does that seem from the Office Space? I have 11 managers. My job is just not pissing. My job is just not pissing them off.
We may be. I guess Mike Judge has predicted the future in more than one movie.
We definitely got it right in Silicon Valley too.
If your viewpoint of happiness is to just get a paycheck, that is a rude awakening because I think a lot of us are going to start losing the paycheck, or the paycheck is going to be lighter. But then we get to the end game of, I guess, the end game of capitalism, which there's no more money to squeeze out of the bottom 99%, and so what does the 1% leave in a rocket ship for someplace else?
That's kind of the part that worries me the most, right? Because if you fast forward fast enough or long enough, far enough into the future, like that creates a very scary future.
I don't disagree with that.
And luckily for you, you're like, I got a few years and I'm retired, and I got 3,500 projects in the backyard you're going to go work on. But for like my kids, I'm a little bit more.
Yeah, I am concerned about my kids as well at that age. Now, my kids are your age, so.
Well, I'm worried about like
they still have
your grandchildren.
20 to 30 more years.
Yeah, but I'm even thinking like your grandchildren, right? Like my kids are in 13, 9, right? What could they possibly be learning between now and the fact when they leave high school that would prepare them for what's going to really be there?
I would assume welding and carpentry, those trades where AI. So the drafter's out of work because drafting that can be done by AI. The engineering can be done by AI, so I don't have to send so if I'm building a house, I don't have to send my plans or hire them to create plans that are load bearing and
So let's spin it though, right? Because I asked you a very important question yesterday.
Okay, did I evade it?
No, you answered it, right? But you have your weekend projects, if you will, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of projects that you're kind of waiting for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you were in a position where those projects, that welding of that floor on that car that you need to put in, if that generated you money, then you wouldn't have to be doing your day job.
True. Yeah, if I could somehow find a way to make money off of that.
And so I think I want to shift the question of like, should your developers be happy? I think the question really is like, how do you make a earning doing things that make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
Given that the things that used to earn you money are
really
going to go away.
Do you really need to chase that? Or is it just like, like my parents' generation was, you got a job at the local factory or whatever plant, and you worked that for 30 years, and then you retired and never worked again. But that disappeared 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so now we work in these tech jobs and
that work you.
They worked you to death pretty much at some places, but overall they're white collar jobs, and
But those are the ones that are most in threat by AI.
They are. Those are the ones that are being threatened. Now, I think I would love to see AI replace the management level before it replaces the contributor, but I don't see that happening. There's still going to be, managers. Like I said before, there's going to be more managers than contributors, and then contributors are just going to, be the conductor of.
I love how much I can bundle and save on insurance and Liberty Bibbity.
And I love that you love how much you can bundle and save.
The scraper one, Python scraper. So I thought I fixed that. I bet you it only fixed it for 8 10.
And this right here is why anti-gravity was still not going to take over the jobs right now.
No, not yet. So the ad that you just heard cut in is a side effect of something that I created in anti-gravity. Every time it goes to scrape a web page for events, sometimes those web pages have audio, and it's so every so often my computer, while it's running this, will start talking to us, especially in the middle of a podcast, which is annoying.
But I think that still goes to say, like, you don't fully understand what you built. So troubleshooting it or bugging it is kind of hard.
Yeah, all I can do is go to anti-gravity at this point and say, hey, you didn't mute the page before you opened it. What the hell?
Yeah. So that's gonna. So this is the scary part, right? Because if that's the stuff that's supposed to make you happy, understanding your craft, but now your craft is being done for you.
Yeah, I'm already cranky and swearing at it.
Where do we go from here, Sean? Clearly, I think people will start prioritizing the things that make them happy.
Yeah.
But I don't know how people will make a living by doing the things that make them happy.
Yeah. Are we getting back to basic income?
The UBI?
Yeah.
Universal Basic Income?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I'm scared of that because that basically destroys capitalism.
Yeah. Well, capitalism had a nice run. I do think that there should be a balance between a lot of these different systems. And I don't think we should abandon capitalism. But we should do a better job like other countries have and balance it with...
But Sean, does this opportunity, though, allow us to solve real problems like curing cancer, solving energy crisis?
Well, that was the promise of AI. So after,
and would that make you happy because you solved the problem that's been plaguing us for centuries?
No, because we always have to have a problem to solve, or we're not engaged, we're not interested in stuff.
So you don't want to be like in WALL-E?
No, I don't think that I do not want to be the fat guy. I'm already the fat guy, but I don't want to be the fat guy floating around in a hover chair drinking a big gulp or whatever that was. But I lost my train of thought on that, though. But
we always have to have a problem to solve.
Yeah, we always have to have a problem to solve. If I could buy as many classic cars as I want without having to worry about budgeting and where am I going to get the money from, I
The
may stop.
chase is not worth it.
Yeah, the chase isn't worth it. I may stop at 30 cars or something, and then I have no interest in getting the 31st car.
Right, but I guess what I was trying to say though is like with the shift to AI, I don't think we'll be able to immediately solve cancer, but then we'll be able to make more incremental progress.
Oh, that's my train of thought. So you brought up solving cancer. That was the promise that after AI won Jeopardy. Back like 20 years ago.
There's a documentary on DeepMind from Google on how they do solve protein folding with AI.
Yeah.
Google's DeepMind.
Okay.
You should watch it. It's free.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Link down below.
Yeah. Well,
So Release Team, DevOps tool specialists. We provide professional services and software reselling around the leading software DevOps tools like Atlassian, GitLab, GitHub, JFrog, and others. To talk with us about DevOps, here's our contact information. Please call 866-887-0489 or via email at info@releaseteam.com.
Well, when IBM's computer, Watson, won Jeopardy, I was an IBM partner at that time. And they were pushing, IBM AI is that's the next big thing. And, it's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to let it loose on all these medical documents, and it will find what we're overlooking, and then it will solve all these big things.
And Watson was 15 years ago, 17 years ago?
I don't remember the exact year, but I want to say it was like around 2003, maybe 2002.
So almost 20 years ago?
Yeah. Well, it's more than 20 years ago.
Watson.
Alex is looking up Watson.
It won Jeopardy in 2011.
2011. Okay, so it was.
But that's when it won it. That's not when it was introduced to the world.
Yeah. Well, that's where it got the most hype, and then they were pushing it down all the partners' throats, and you need to do something with Watson. But then nothing happened for 10 years, and we barely heard of Watson. And now, IBM's AI division is Watson. And they're trying to make it as relevant as these other big AI tools.
Way to have dropped the ball in the lead. Way to have dropped the lead.
Yeah,
right.
Well, IBM's famous for that. So they're also famous for buying good companies and destroying them. But but anyway.
So is our happiness then preserved because the hype of AI is too much and it's just going to fall flat in its face?
I don't think AI is going to fall flat on its face. I think it's going to destroy careers, but I don't think it's going to fall flat on its face.
But unlike Watson, it's actually doing it this time.
Yeah. And I know Watson has a chance to come back in certain verticals, but I think that was more of a misplay on IBM than anti-AI thing. But yeah, part of my happiness is to complain about IBM.
So do we all just become critics?
I can see being a critic. I think I'm very.
So does that mean we all become YouTubers? And do we all just live off of there's got to be some flywheel, right?
Yeah. So YouTube is interesting. So we obviously thought we could do something on YouTube, and we're doing it.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah. Well, was it like and click and subscribe or whatever?
Yeah, there you go. Do all the things.
Yeah. But, recently YouTube has been demonetizing channels left and right. And
that are using the AI.
Yeah, yeah. And so is YouTube a valid replacement for salary? I would say obviously not, because if I had to live off YouTube, with my current, if I had to match my current salary with what YouTube will eventually start paying. We're not monetized by any means yet. We're still quite a ways off.
Now, so because it's not a good episode of DORA without bringing up my homeboy.
Oh, no. We got to stop.
Okay. I won't name him, but the homeboy said the price of goods will go down to zero when the robots start doing the work. So what does it matter when you'll be able to get anything you want for free?
Isn't that the death of capitalism?
Not the death of society.
Yeah.
Because even in a communistic society, like you still work for something.
Yeah, you're supposedly the picture that we've been painted of communism. Yes, yeah.
And even in a socialistic society, I think socialism is probably the one that's worse off because socialism depends on somebody doing the work for the rest to benefit.
Yeah.
But I guess
so does communism.
But I guess when robots do all the work,
Mm-hmm.
I still think Wall-E. We should just all be watching Wall-E. I think that's the future.
I'll have to rewatch the documentary Wall-E.
It's going to be based on a true story.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's what they didn't add to the introduction. Wall-E 2, based on a true story.
Yeah.
The after effects. When Hollywood becomes reality.
Didn't they already make a Wall-E 2? Straight to
WALL-E 2.
DVD?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, folks, let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Should developers be happy? Should you be happy? Should anybody be happy? How do you plan on being happy with how aggressive AI is infiltrating our jobs?
Yeah, definitely. Talk more about happiness instead of the Debbie Downer this episode became.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.